Can you imagine a flying car costing only $5,000? That's probably more of a dream than reality. In fact, as of today, the prices for such technologies are much higher. For example, the Chinese company XPeng plans to produce such vehicles, with prices ranging from $138,000 to $276,000. That's almost the price of premium class cars, but they have already attracted interest from many people around the world. China is indeed actively developing the flying vehicle sector. But for now, the market is aimed at buyers who are ready to pay serious money for innovation and comfort. However, it must be acknowledged that China is a key player in the race for technological dominance. The country continues to invest in development, striving to make its vehicles more affordable, but true mass adoption is still a long way off. Of course, when dealing with such rapidly evolving technologies, changes happen quickly, and who knows how they might surprise us next. How China has approached this revolution and what makes its strategy so successful is revealed in the following fascinating story. The Chinese Revolution. In the very heart of China, where innovation has become a way of life, something is being created that could change our conventional understanding of transportation. Flying cars are appearing on the horizon of reality, not just a concept, but a true engineering dream ready to become a breakthrough in the transportation market. China's efforts in developing and testing flying vehicles are moving toward making them a part of our everyday lives in the near future. These aerial vehicles are actively showcased at international exhibitions, drawing attention thanks to their technological capabilities. The first mass-produced models are expected to appear by 2026, and they are already set to capture the attention of consumers around the world. The company XPeng Motors, having set ambitious goals for itself, is planning to turn the dream of the future into reality by launching these vehicles into mass production. And who knows what other innovations might emerge if this project proves to be viable. It seems that a door is opening before us into a world where the pace of life is set by the technologies of the future. Technology and innovation. Chinese flying cars are not just empty promises, but real technological achievements. At the recent Shanghai Auto Show, striking models such as the Hongqi Tianlin 1 and Xpeng Aero HT secured their place among the most ambitious developments. These vehicles, equipped with electric motors, impressed with their ability to minimize noise and emissions. But importantly, not all of them rely exclusively on lithium-ion batteries. The navigation systems are remarkable for their complexity. The Hongqi Tianlin 1 uses an unmanned aerial vehicle with a voice and visual interface, allowing for precise control. This level of development makes it possible to integrate autopilot elements and artificial intelligence to ensure flight safety. However, few models are capable of offering combined data processing algorithms. Speaking of ease of operation, it is worth noting that despite the modern interfaces, the user definitely needs to undergo training to confidently use this new technology. A flying car is not just a toy, but a serious vehicle of the future that demands respect and understanding. But what lies ahead on the path to the widespread adoption of these amazing devices, we'll find out in just a moment. Design and development. What journey does an idea take to become a revolutionary reality? In China, this process became possible thanks to the ambitious company XPeng Motors and its subsidiary Aero HT, which joined forces to create flying cars. Today, they are preparing to change the way we think about transportation, with mass production scheduled for 2026. But how did it all begin? The challenge was to create a vehicle capable of flying at low altitudes while remaining safe and accessible. This became possible thanks to strong support from the government and private investors. Innovative concepts were born in research laboratories, and soon the first sketches appeared. Although the details of all prototypes are not disclosed, it is known that engineers are actively developing a model known as the land aircraft carrier. The journey from concept to reality requires constant testing and modifications. Each improvement brings us closer to the day when flying cars will become part of our everyday lives. This moment will mark a new beginning for the global transportation system, and the prospects that await us are truly immense. Next, we will look at the key figures behind the development of these flying marvels. Developers' opinions. Behind every flying car from China stands an incredible team, working under the banner of XPeng Motors and Aero HT. Together, they are working on creating a revolutionary means of transportation, the modular land aircraft carrier. This concept envisions a single vehicle that can simultaneously function as both a ground car and an aircraft. Participating in this exciting race for the future of transportation, Vice President and Chief Designer Wang Tan shares his thoughts about his team. They want to give people the opportunity to truly feel like pilots in every sense of the word. But how can this ambitious idea be brought to life? It all starts with thorough testing. Every component of the flying car undergoes numerous safety tests. Special attention is given to energy consumption to make flight not only possible, but also efficient. These experts are immersed in daily brainstorming sessions, creating space for innovation. Modular designs and the integration of artificial intelligence make the device more versatile and adaptive. And on the horizon, major events are already looming, such as the China Air Show and the Guangzhou International Auto Show, where the team plans to showcase their developments. These flying cars are promising in their capabilities, and very soon they will be in the hands of the first users, whose impressions are yet to be discovered. The first user. Imagine a moment when a modular electric minivan transforms into a flying vehicle. This isn't a scene from a science fiction movie, but a reality presented by Xpeng Aero HT at CES in 2025. The land aircraft carrier model amazed the public, promising the first deliveries as early as 2026. This technical masterpiece combines 6 wheels and a comfortable passenger cabin for ground travel, as well as a built-in eVTOL, capable of making short flights. Although the module features partial autonomy thanks to autopilot and advanced navigation systems, manual piloting skills are still required to operate it. This makes pilot training an essential part of implementing the new technology. The maximum flight speed is about 80 miles per hour, and the airtime is around 35 minutes. When it comes to safety, the engineers have focused on a multi-chamber environment for obstacle detection and an emergency parachute. Despite all its innovation, the modular electric vehicle is currently suitable only for enthusiasts with large budgets and emergency rescue services, since its price is under $300,000. So far, reviews from the first users have not been published, but public interest in this futuristic mode of transportation is growing. This raises the question, what other possibilities will open up for us when the technology becomes more accessible? The answer to this question may lie in the next step, which we will discuss further. Problems and solutions. When we hear about flying cars that seem like something out of science fiction, it's important to realize these new technologies are real. Most of us will be surprised to learn that the Chinese company Xpeng has already scheduled public flights of its flying cars for November 2024 in Zhuhai. By 2026, mass production will be launched, taking us to a new level of driving. Xpeng's land aircraft carrier concept is more than just a vehicle. This modular flying electric vehicle combines a ground vehicle and a drone. The most important question is safety. Here, Xpeng offers multi-level redundancy for vital systems such as control and power supply. Operating the vehicle requires both a driver's license and a pilot's license. However, the simplified control system lowers the threshold for operation compared to helicopters. Navigation in such vehicles is a combination of local sensors and global network data to control every detail of the route. The systems respond to external changes in real time, making them reliable and efficient in conditions of heavy traffic. As for technical specifications, Xpeng equips its vehicles with an 800-volt platform and a combined range of about 1,000 kilometers. The developers are actively working on speeding up charging and increasing battery capacity to make long flights more accessible. Regulatory standards are no less important. While China is actively preparing new laws for the safe use of such technologies, the rest of the world has yet to implement similar measures. This indicates that China is a pioneer in this field. Initially, flying cars will be available on the domestic market at a price of around 2 million yuan, making them accessible within the scope of new opportunities. The intelligent control capabilities are also top-notch. Xpeng has developed an AI model that greatly simplifies autopilot and navigation, surpassing even the capabilities of ChatGPT. This striking feature not only adds a touch of futurism, but also promises safe and convenient control of flying vehicles. The next step after such innovations will be to study the economic effects they will bring. What do these impressive changes promise for the economy and the transportation market? Let's find out next. Economic impact. Flying cars, which literally hover above the ground, are already on the verge of mass production. Companies from China have taken the lead in this race, planning to introduce flying cars into everyday life as early as 2026. Moreover, by 2030, their mass production is expected, which will become a turning point for the global transportation market. According to experts' estimates, the market for 4-seater flying cars could reach $12.5 billion by the end of the next decade. This forecast is prompting venture capital firms to increase their investments in related technologies, seeing potential in a sector that was previously considered science fiction. New services and business models are actively emerging on the horizon, ready to offer innovations and meet the growing demand. The technological changes that flying cars will bring entail not only a revolution in transportation, but will also create new jobs. The development of specialized infrastructure and landing pads promises benefits for the construction sector. These changes could significantly impact the traditional automobile market. Manufacturers of ground vehicles will have to adapt and look for ways to integrate, turning them into participants in the new technological movement. When it comes to the legislative environment, there are also plenty of changes here. It is important that regulation supports the technology, making it safe and accessible. Support for eVTOL and other innovative solutions is becoming a key factor for their successful implementation. The path we are taking today opens up incredible horizons for tomorrow. What other surprises does the future hold for us in the world of transportation? We'll talk about that next. Trends of the future. Flying cars from China are a technological innovation that the whole world is talking about. China is actively developing this sector, and although such vehicles have not yet become a widespread reality today, they are increasingly being discussed in the context of future changes. In the aviation industry, the focus still remains on traditional airplanes, but interest in eVTOL is growing. Urban water aviation has not yet been integrated into transportation systems in practice, but it is precisely the concept of flying taxis that captures the imagination of people around the world. This idea is being actively researched and discussed in major transportation hubs. However, before it can be widely implemented, there are a number of regulatory and infrastructural barriers that need to be overcome. A look toward the future. The transition to three-dimensional movement in cities promises to be a breakthrough, but this process is still in its early stages. Regulators and companies see potential in this, but at the moment, it is more of a hypothesis than a reality. Air corridors and their integration into transportation networks will remain a topic of discussion among experts for years to come. Despite technological capabilities, the main efforts are focused on improving existing aviation infrastructure and traditional transportation. The implementation of IoT systems and cloud technologies in the context of urban mobility is also still at the research stage. These technologies promise to reduce congestion and optimize routes, but this remains a matter for the future. These innovations, however, open the door to new ideas and developments that we could only dream of before. What lies behind their environmental significance, and how might they change our planet? Let's take a closer look at this impact. The environmental perspective. Electric flying vehicles from China promise not only to revolutionize our concept of transportation, but also to make our world greener. Just think about it. Engineers have already achieved impressive progress with electric engines, which is becoming the foundation for reducing the carbon footprint. For example, the efforts of EHang, a company at the forefront of developing autonomous flying platforms, highlight the drive toward environmental sustainability. Today's developments are focused on reducing aerodynamic drag. This not only makes flights smoother, but also reduces energy consumption. Although the idea of solar panels integrated into the body still sounds futuristic, it opens the door to incredible possibilities. Notice that electric technology significantly reduces noise levels, rivaling even the quietest drones. This is an important step toward comfortable urban flights, where every wing beat does not disturb the peace of residents. Less noise means better harmony in the urban jungle. These innovations represent not only progress, but also the need for new approaches to safety. Safety remains the cornerstone of all developments, playing a key role on the path to mass production and implementation. However, a more detailed analysis of how flight safety is ensured awaits you in the continuation of our story. Safety and regulations. In the world of innovative technologies, safety becomes the most important element, especially when it comes to flying vehicles. As China develops its aviation industry, special attention is given to efficient navigation and sensor technology. Many models are equipped with detectors that allow for the prompt detection of changing flight conditions, enhancing maneuverability and safety. Although China's technical advancements are particularly prominent in the field of drones, this area has served as a foundation for further achievements in developing the eVTOL concept. These developments contribute to the creation of systems that ensure reliable control at altitude, adaptation to various weather conditions, and the ability to transmit control signals with minimal intervention from the pilot, or operator. Legislative regulation for such innovations is a complex issue. China is actively improving legislative acts related to civil aviation in order to meet the new challenges posed by modern technologies. This involves including provisions on air safety, optimization of air routes, and requirements for pilots. Even if China is not yet a leader in the eVTOL segment, the scale of its achievements in the field of drones and related technologies deserves attention and continues to move toward larger aerial vehicles. Amidst all these developments, the main question remains: how might these changes affect the daily lives of cities and their residents, opening up new opportunities and improving infrastructure? The answer to this question could radically change our perception of urban spaces and transportation systems. Benefits for society. Could you imagine that by as early as 2030, Chinese cities might have up to 100,000 eVTOL flying vehicles? This is not just a dream, it's a real prospect, confirming the active development and integration of aerial mobility into urban life. Moreover, in many countries, including China, pilot projects for air taxis are already underway. It is planned that the commercial use of eVTOLs will begin in the coming years, with optimistic forecasts for the period from 2025 to 2027. While eVTOLs promise to transform everyday life, they also offer a wide range of applications. For example, they can ease the burden on urban infrastructure and significantly reduce traffic congestion. Their use in emergency services enables the fastest and most efficient delivery of aid, while in tourism and logistics, they can shorten delivery times and enhance the personalization of trips. All of this aligns with the expectations of the modern urban air mobility market. China is not only developing eVTOLs domestically, but is also actively entering international markets, establishing connections with Europe and the US, obtaining flight permits, and attracting significant investments. This is not only a symbol of the success of the Chinese industry, but also a testament to its global significance. However, it is important to keep in mind that successful implementation depends on the support of government agencies and well-developed urban infrastructure. At the same time, despite all the advantages, it is important not to overlook the necessary details. For example, how to prepare urban spaces for this revolution and ensure safety. Such changes may affect social and economic aspects, opening up new horizons and opportunities for urban life. But how exactly will the race for leadership in this new era shape the future? Let's find out next. Comparison with competitors. The world of electric aviation is changing course. In 2023, China became a pioneer by issuing the world's first license for an air taxi to the company EHang. These vehicles are ushering in an era of mass urban flights, setting a new standard for mobility. Meanwhile, in America, Joby Aviation is making significant strides, having secured a $131 million contract with the Pentagon. Their delivery of several aircraft to Edwards Air Force Base in early 2024 demonstrates their leadership in the domestic market. The company's aircraft, capable of flying up to 150 miles without recharging, promise to significantly reduce noise levels in cities. On the European stage, Lilium stands out with its electric jet, which is designed for long-distance flights. Their Lilium jet, equipped with multiple electric jet engines, reaches speeds of up to 300 kilometers per hour, covering a comparable distance on a single charge. These hopes are backed by significant investments. In recent years, Lilium has raised $275 million to accelerate its market entry. Volocopter thus and similar European projects follow ecological principles, creating sustainable multicopters for urban environments. But the main breakthrough has come from Chinese companies such as EHang, which are strengthening their position through large-scale implementation and government support. These companies are not limited to passenger versions. They are actively testing cargo solutions, including multi-module systems. Chinese developers have a strategic vision. They are not just catching up, but actually setting the direction for innovation. Government support and a focus on a wide range of tasks make them market leaders. Chinese technologies are already shaping the future of transportation, demonstrating that the race for the skies is only gaining momentum. Long-term prospects. Did you know that Chinese startups and tech giants are already developing and testing next-generation flying vehicles? eVTOL aircraft with vertical takeoff and landing capabilities? It's not science fiction at all. There are more than 20 companies worldwide, including EHang and Autoflight, that are running pilot air taxi projects not only in China, but also in the US and Europe. These developments have been made possible thanks to millions in investments from both government agencies and private businesses. In addition, important achievements include successful commercial flights in certain regions. In the next 10 to 20 years, these technologies may be integrated into the urban environment of megacities, creating a new type of congestion: air traffic jams. Just like traffic jams on the ground, they could become a challenge due to the increased density of air traffic. In this regard, cities will begin to create specialized platforms and terminals for air taxis, and new intelligent air traffic management systems, which are currently being tested, will be integrated with road networks. Moreover, the transition of transportation to electricity and renewable energy sources is not just a fashionable trend, but a necessity in the context of reducing the carbon footprint. Today, countries around the world are setting ambitious goals to reduce emissions. By practically implementing solar power plants, wind turbines, and next-generation batteries. Experts agree that the cities of the future will be cleaner and more comfortable to live in, and transportation will become one of the central elements of these changes. The challenge lies in how quickly and successfully new technologies can integrate into modern life. Final thought. As we enter a new era of transportation, electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicles, known as eVTOLs, promise to transform our perspective on mobility. Although the cost of such innovative vehicles often exceeds expectations and amounts to a significant sum, Compared to traditional air transportation, their technologies are impressive in their capabilities. These vehicles not only offer an environmentally friendly alternative to ground transportation, but also open the door to new uses of urban space. eVTOLs, such as those being developed in China, focus on electric engines and advanced navigation systems. Thanks to enhanced safety systems and reliable sensors, they provide a high level of flight safety. Therefore, it is not surprising that this segment attracts the attention of both manufacturers and air passengers. On the path to widespread adoption of eVTOLs, there are a number of challenges, ranging from regulatory issues to the adaptation of urban infrastructure. All of this requires careful coordination and long-term planning. But once these barriers are overcome, electric vehicles promise to bring significant benefits both in logistics and in everyday urban life, reducing travel time and lessening the impact on the environment. Although the prospects for eVTOL use are filled with dreams of a green and high-tech lifestyle, we face an important task: to exercise caution. After all, we are now at a turning point where the future of aviation can be rewritten from scratch for the benefit of our cities and the planet. Time will tell how fast and significant these changes will be, but the potential promises to be incredibly exciting and promising. You watched the video until the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.